of you have bought a pattern making or a sewing tool because someone on YouTube said you absolutely need it, only for that tool to sit in your drawer for the next 2 years collecting dust? Besties, if we are not careful, sewing can become very expensive really quickly, and social media can make you feel like you need 20 rulers, 3 dress forms, a sewing machine that costs more than your rent, and every gadget before you can sew professionally. And that is not true. So today we are separating the truly useful tools, though expensive, from the ones that simply look good on social media. The truth is, some tools have genuinely changed my sewing life. Some tools can save time, some tools actually improve your sewing, while some tools, they make fitting a lot easier. And others, well, let's just say they were a complete waste of money. Now, let me share the expensive pattern making tools and sewing tools that are actually worth buying. And I know that some of my answers may surprise you. No worries, let's just get right into it, okay? So can we start with the rotary mat or the healing mat? This one. Can you see? I used to think that this was very unnecessary. I thought, why would I spend so much money on cutting mat when I already have a cutting table? But honestly, if you draft patterns regularly or cut fabric often, a good rotary mat is worth every penny. It protects your table, it makes your cutting 10 times faster, and it gives accurate cutting lines. I usually prefer the larger ones like this. This one is really big because they can take large pattern pieces like dresses, pants, and things like that. Now this one I have, I think is a size A0. I'm not sure, something like that. Anyways, I'll confirm and then I'll drop the link below for you. I have used this for like 8 or 9 years and it's still going very strong. It's one tool I absolutely love and never regretted buying. And you need to use a rotary cutter with this mat to enjoy it to the fullest. So here are the rotary cutters that go very well with the rotary mat or the healing mat. Now you don't need to buy all of these. These are just the ones I've had over the years. The only thing you need to do is you just need to change the blades, and that's what I do. I just change the blades, and they are all of different sizes. I think this is 60 mm and why this is 45 mm. So I usually prefer this size. It's smaller and it's cheaper anyway, so it does the work for me. So I just use this one more often, and the blades are also cheaper as well, but this is still going very well. I only just need to change the blades. Now you only need maybe just about 2, one for fabric and one for paper, and that's what I have been using. I use this for fabric and then I use the smaller one for paper. That's not to say that the smaller one is meant for paper. I just feel more comfortable with this, using it for paper, because it cuts all the corners and everything very nicely. Besties, when I first bought this rotary cutter, I immediately asked myself, why did I wait so long? Like, why have I been suffering myself all these years using a pair of scissors? Well, this is not to condemn those people who use scissors, or this is not to say that scissors is bad, not at all. I just find that using rotary cutter is a lot faster. It's more smoother for me, more accurate, and better for knits and better for pattern papers as well. Now, if you have used the rotary cutter before and you have used the scissors as well, I would like to hear your thoughts about this. Which one do you prefer, and which one has worked better for you? Okay, please just leave them in the comment section for me. Now, especially if you are making multiple patterns or cutting several layers of fabric, this tool can save you hours. And like I mentioned before, I use the bigger one for fabric, and then the smaller one for papers. I'm sure you've seen them before on most of my tutorials, right? And by the way, if you are wondering where I got these rotary cutters from, or the cutting mats I just showed you, I've listed some of my favorite sewing supplies down in the description box. Okay, just go check them out. Now, are you team rotary cutter or are you team scissors? Let's hear you in the comment section. Okay. Now let's talk about one of the most expensive tools, the dress form. So this is the one I have, and let me say this first: you do not need one as a beginner, but once you start fitting your garments, start draping, creating content, teaching, or working with clients, then a dress form becomes extremely useful. It helps you to check the fit, to analyze the balance, to pin garments, to photograph garments, and also to see problems before wearing the garment. I wouldn't call this essential for beginners, but I would absolutely call it a worthwhile investment for later, because it's quite expensive. It's not cheap. I wouldn't also recommend you buy it unless you absolutely need it. I think this is one of the most expensive sewing tool that I have. Or okay, maybe my sewing machine. I think my sewing machine is. So now, yeah. So do you have a dress form, or do you think they are overrated? Let's hear you in the comment section. Okay. Pattern paper is another expensive tool. Now I've got 3 different pattern papers here, and they are all for different purposes. For example, this one here is for drafting, is the white paper roll, is for drafting patterns. I use this for drafting all my patterns. And then this one that is a see-through, is a tracing paper. I use it for tracing out my patterns. Okay, while this one here is the hard cardboard roll. Now I use this for making blocks, like permanent blocks that I'm going to reuse over and over again, just to preserve them, so I can also trace them out. So I use this hard cardboard roll for it. Now you see, good pattern papers is expensive, but it is worth spending your money on. And nobody talks about good pattern papers. Honestly, they should, because cheap pattern papers, they tear, they wrinkle, and they fade, and your hard work will just disappear just like that. So whereas quality pattern papers like these ones I just showed you, they can handle alterations, they store better, so that you can easily reuse your patterns and then make patterns easier to read. Remember what we learned recently, that basic blocks are the foundation of every garment. So your foundation deserves good material. Is that not so? Now let's talk about one of the most debated sewing tool out there, the serger, also known as the overlocker. Every time this topic comes up, sewists, they immediately split into 2 groups. Now we have one of the group that says, I can't sew without my serger. And then we have the other group that says, my sewing machine does everything I need. So, do you actually need a serger? Well, my answer is yes, eventually. Especially if you sew knit and stretch fabrics, active wears, t-shirts, children's clothes, and professional garments. You need one. Now a serger gives you clean seam finishes, and it makes your sewing or your garment construction faster, especially with knit. It also gives that professional looking interiors. So honestly, once I started sewing more knit garments, my serger became one of my most used machines. But can you really sew beautiful clean clothes without it? Absolutely. A regular sewing machine can still produce amazing garments, but if you sew often, especially with stretch fabrics, a serger is one of those investments that can save you a lot of time and improve your sewing experience. And if you are wondering which serger I use or recommend, I've added some of my sewing supplies below in the description box. I have used this Juki MO65 654DE. Yes, for about 12 years now. I'm going to put the picture somewhere. It's very rugged and I absolutely love it. No single repairs all these years, just cleaning and oiling. I highly recommend it. Now I want to hear from you. Are you team sewing machine or team overlocker? Let's settle this in the comment section, okay? A good set of pattern rulers is also worth spending your money on. You have the French curves or the hip curves, you have the pattern master, you have the graded rulers, and these other ones. These aren't the most exciting purchases, but accurate rulers, they actually improve accurate drafting, and accurate drafting improves fitting. So if you are serious about pattern making, these tools are worth investing in, okay? A good pressing iron is also worth investing on. Can we agree that sewing is actually 50% stitching and 50% pressing? A quality steam iron can completely improve your garments. Sometimes the difference between homemade and professionally looking garments isn't the sewing, it's actually the pressing. And besties, this is something I also teach inside my online school, because many students think they need every expensive sewing gadget on social media. You do not need them. Inside the school, I teach which tools are truly necessary, how to use them properly, and how to draft and fit different foundation blocks so you can spend your money wisely. Because skills will always give you a better return than gadgets. So if I had to start all over, these are the tools I would happily buy again. The first one is the rotary mat. Yes, I will buy it all over again. And then the rotary cutters and the dress form, and then good pattern paper and pattern rulers, different pattern rulers, the serger or the overlocker, and then good steam iron. But remember, besties, tools, they actually help, but skills are the ones that transform. The most expensive sewing room in the world cannot replace practice. So the best sewing tool you can invest in is actually knowledge. So invest in getting good knowledge to improve your skills. Now I want to hear from you. What's the best sewing tool you have ever purchased? And what's the most expensive tool, or what's one of those expensive tools that you regret buying? Tell me in the comment section, because I know this conversation is about to get interesting. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me in today's class. I'll see you again in my next one. Until then, bye-bye.